And, sorry, so glad to see you. I hope you guys had a wonderful celebration, and it's been a bit hectic today. I was planning to come live anyway because I wanted to talk about this full moon Cancer, but then we had some distractions, which I've been working on today because last night I was getting so much information before all of this stuff happened. It was just really kind of interesting. But it was stuff that made me feel good. In fact, when I was done, I was just realizing how many people around the world, even here, are up late doing research, kind of the same thing that I'm doing in whatever media that they're doing it in. And I just had said a prayer for all of us to reach out and connect with one another and with all the support that we have, and just to really pull this community, this silent community together. And that felt really great. And I'm so glad I did that, considering what happened just hours later. But let me say hello to you guys. Hi there. Hello. Hi, Just Joy. Hi, Amy. Arrived on time. Good for you. Hi, Super Sean's mom. Hi, Teresa. Antoinette's granddaughter. Caroline, Wade, thank you. I'm so glad. You guys, Gretchen, thank you so much for coming out so regularly. And our stooge, Cynthia Pierce, welcome to 2026. I feel like we have to buckle up. Yeah, but you know what? This isn't the 2026 that I think Don Julio is coming for him. He is riding on the last vestiges of the transits that were working for him usefully until last summer. We got a preview of what's to come, and I'm very optimistic about what is to come in 2026. And in fact, we're going to touch a little bit on that today with July 4th. Hello, Free Spirit. Hi, you guys. Yes, please hit the thumbs up. Hi, Teresa, Lori, Purple Sky, Connie, Asia. I got it right. Marby. I am so happy to see you guys. Okay, get a drink of water. Yeah, time has been flying by today. I don't know. Are you guys showered, brush your teeth, all that good news? I just finally was able to, to at least brush my teeth probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. It's been one of those kind of crazy days. But last time we met, I was talking a little bit about this full moon. I was like, I wonder what's going to happen, because the full moon itself was exactly at 13 degrees Cancer, which is conjunct the United States sun. It happened overnight, so it's a night chart. Our nation is ruled by the moon, and it is opposing the sun, which is a leader, with a bunch of tension and a bunch of opposition. And to me, coming to this full moon, it felt like home. It felt like people were gelling and coming together, communities coming together. There was a really more than a festive air about it, but it's just like you could just really feel that, like, no matter what was happening in politics or wherever Orange Julio is, that we were good. We were steady. Things have solidified amongst us. There isn't so much of that division. It's like we're all kind of coming together, seeing each other with fresh eyes, and different sides coming back together. Now, if you just a little bit I noticed online today is like the trolls and the bots are out trying to conquer and divide us again, and just saying how awful this is. America, I'm not even going to get into it, but I was like, block, 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 because I have no time for this. You know, America, she is my home. I am upset with it, but I am not going to give up on her at all. And I'm still going to stand in my joy, because I've got really good news for you guys. But that was the other thing I wanted to say, because being in your joy, it's always a choice. I know this type of stuff really, really sucks. And yes, I've been there, furious, angry earlier today, and just like, oh my gosh, here we go again. But really, we can't feel sad enough. We can't feel angry enough to make the situation and conditions change. So why torture yourself, you guys? In your joy, you have your own back and you can see things more clearly. I know it doesn't make sense and in that it's at odds with what we are looking at, but you have more power being in that space of connection than not. And this administration and all their minions want us disconnected as much as possible to fuel the outrage and then to blanket everything with crap so we can't even see each other or be connected. So I just wanted to say that little reminder. Okay. Hi, Connie B. Hi, Renee and Patty. Hi, Electra. Wendy. Yes, Aisha, I did. I said it correctly. Renee woke up at 3:30 a.m. just jolted awake. Yeah. Hi, Rob. Just Joy. I'm just exhausted. You know what? You take care of yourself, okay? Electra, you said the military was on our side, but after this morning, it seems the military is on Trump's side. I don't think we have any heroes in the military right now. You know what? There is still stuff going on. I know last week I was kind of lengthy in some of my descriptions on the images that I was seeing, but it was so much information, and I really feel like what I was seeing was playing into today, okay? Because this has been in the works for a while, and people behind the scenes, they have known. And I believe that this is why there has been that push since the summer with releasing files, with the legislation that Donald had to sign. And then all of a sudden, hello, Jack Smith coming out of the woodwork, and he's everywhere and he's persistent. And what you'll notice between these guys, MassieKhana, Jack Smith, I have been wondering this for a while. What is the continuity with these guys in that they are so confident and they feel like they are impervious to any type of attack or anything from Don Julio? I mean, Massie's confidence has been off the charts and he seems impervious from any criticism. You know who else is like that? He never goes after Kamala. Why is it? He doesn't go after people whom he knows has some sort of power or secret over him. So it is just really interesting watching these behavior patterns and how they consistently, over time, happen in the same way. This also explains what happened today overnight. Remember at Mar-a-Lago, he had to have those, quote, peace talks, and Zelensky came. And he kept running back and forth to make calls to Putz about his meetings. And then Bibi was there, and there was that interview that was like a presser at Mar-a-Lago. And I believe I commented on this last time. I was like, you guys, that whole time in that conversation, I couldn't stand to watch it because Bibi was laughing. He was trying to control his laughter. Donald knew he had to do whatever he could do to stand up straight and be authoritative. Like, he's not going to laugh because they both knew what was going on the inside. And at the time, I had no idea what it was, but I knew it was a bunch of bullshittery and that what they were talking about in general it was all just a lie. They were covering so much stuff up. Okay. So, Gretchen, we forgot we're also energetic beings. It's so important to keep our vibes high. Yes, keep your vibes high and protect your energy, because when we make ourselves susceptible when we are in those lower energies to being tapped into bad spirit. And just like those manipulative psyops that they have running, it makes us more vulnerable to those things, and it's so difficult to get out of them. Oh boy. Okay. DCP has a question. What's up, Juno? 1 degree. Venus 10 degrees. Okay. There are. I've got a lot of thoughts about that. Okay. Okay, so I could go in a million directions right now, but I want to talk about this full moon, and I keep calling it manifest destiny. I keep having these words ring out through my brain since Mamdani was sworn in. the joy that was happening in New York, watching the people celebrate his inauguration, but even hours later and into the day, and all the videos of people just dancing. There was one group in particular dancing to New York City, and it was just like this organic thing that happened. People dancing, someone would get in the center of the circle, and they would dance, and they would sing this song, and just the joy was so palpable. And someone said, and may this ripple out to the rest of the United States. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's right. New York City was our first capital in the United States. We've had several, but it was our first capital after our Constitution was ratified. So the first meeting after that came on March 4th in 1780. Is it 1789? Yes, 1789. So that happened on 1789. That was the first meeting. And it is actually right now kitty corner from Wall Street. It is on Wall Street. But that's when they first met together. And so I had to, of course, look at this chart for when they had this meeting. And I just set the time for noon on that day. And then I had to look at the chart with Mamdani being sworn in. Because I'm like, there has to be a link here. If that's the first capital, we're heading into 2026. This is a year of change. We're after our Pluto return. And because the promise of our nation's horoscope is that we do not bow down to a king. We overthrow a king. That is in our cosmic DNA, and it's what we all know. We know nothing else but our freedom in the United States since then. So I felt like there was this really strong connection there. And so I was looking at asteroids. I couldn't find one that was Mamdani, but I did find one called... Oh, did I not write this? It's like Mom. This is not how it's spelled, but it has these letters. I swear I wrote this down. Look at my glasses. Oh, there we go. Mamidala. 10941. And I felt like that one was really appropriate for him. So then I go click that stuff into the computer, and I was like, oh my gosh, you just cannot make this stuff up. So on this day, March 4th, 1789, they meet. And on this day, the moon is at noon, 11 degrees Gemini. At the top of the chart, we have the Sun, Saturn, and Mercury conjunct. We have got the Sun at... We've got the Sun at 14 Pisces. We have Saturn at 13 Pisces. And it's like Saturn leading the Sun, that's like a shield. Like, you know how Don Julio can protect his money and his assets, and it took forever to break through there and get to see his money, get to see his tax returns and all those agreements? That's the power of Saturn kind of being a blocker, okay? So as the U.S. goes forth with their first meeting post-ratifying of the Constitution, we have the Saturn leading the Sun. And right now, the North Node is 10 degrees Pisces. So it's conjunct this as well. If you want to think the North Node, where you're headed, thinking about destiny. Well, on this day, the asteroid Mamidala was 15 degrees Pisces. It was exactly conjunct the Sun, Saturn, and the North Node in there, okay? So I'm like, no way, that's crazy. And then the other thing I noticed on this day in 1879, the moon was 11 Gemini. At noon, it might have been 10 degrees Gemini before then. Well, when Mamdani was sworn in, the moon, let's get a different color. That's the same color. The moon, when he was sworn in, the moon was 9 degrees Gemini, 50 minutes. They are conjunct. You cannot make this up. On this, when he was sworn in, we have the sun at 10 Capricorn, and it is conjunct the asteroid PHOLUS at 10 Capricorn. And 10 PHOLUS is, associated with wine and drink and beverage, but it's also associated with the cork that goes pop. Like time to celebrate. Hooray! So if he's a leader, then the sun is celebrating with everybody. And it's very jovial. We've got this very sociable moon, 9 degrees Gemini, conjunct the 1879 moon from our first capital. Well, look at this, you guys. New York City, capital. The USA natal moon is 27 degrees Aquarius. That represents the people. And on that day, PHOLUS was conjunct the USA moon. Pop, time to celebrate. We have Saturn leading the way and protecting us, and all that good energy, all those good things now are flowing westward. Manifest destiny. Go and settle the lands. Go settle the nation. We felt like this was our purpose. And there are no coincidences. I think this is why this feels so magical. It's very tangible. People know things have changed in New York. In fact, you even had George Santos saying, "I'm leaving New York." Well, yeah, bye-bye. It's like all the criminals want to leave New York now. And now keep in mind, he won this election November 4th, about 2 months ago. When are we finding out about the timeline of having it be a go for Venezuela? About 2 months ago. Kind of crazy. How are you guys doing? Yes. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Okay. So that is a very, very positive sign to me. And he is going to be a shining light for our nation and where we're supposed to go. Now, we became our nation. We just fought in the Revolutionary War, and now we're going to go west. But there are still flare-ups. There are still battles. There will continue to be so as our nation expands. And now it's liberty and land. You could not separate those for the notion that our nation was founded upon. You have liberty, you're free, you have land. And now we have more battles ahead. Oh, you know what else? This moon, when he was inaugurated, USA, I believe it's Uranus, is 8 degrees Gemini. And you think about Uranus, that's innovation. It's the visionary. It's the rebel. We have that going. And this year, we have Uranus going into Gemini permanently. So here we have another Uranus return with what is happening in New York. And Don Julio, the far right, the criminals, they know that they are screwed when trying to deal with New York City, the financial capital of the world. This is a big, huge problem for them, okay? I need to get here, I can use this. Okay, we good? We good? Hi there. Okay. So, we have this full moon Cancer. There's a big reveal for the people. And she is just really opposed. We have the moon. I want to draw some cards on this so we can get a visual on what's going on here. 13 Capricorn. Because, you know, the sun not only represents a leader, it represents our forefathers and the vision that they have all collectively held, putting our nation together, and every legitimate president thereafter upholding what we believe to be self-evident in our Constitution. It's this Yahoo that has gone against the grain. And so this feels very split. Normally, if he was supportive of the people, even though this is an opposition, he has plenty of power and energy and oomph here to make it happen for the people. And it would be really, really harmonious, especially with we, the people, having Jupiter on our side right now, which is about 20 Cancer, but it's retrograde. So it doesn't have that expansive outward quality. It has more turned in and reflective. It doesn't have that marching forth type expansiveness. Let me grab some cards. I want the pretty cards because I think these cards are so pretty, giving us the visual of we the people. So I want to grab 2 cards from this deck. The people and where we're headed with the future. So there's going to be 2 cards there because I'm definitely feeling two different things happening here. Donald feels, I know I keep saying this, just done. It feels like this was his last card to play, and I will show you that with the timeline, okay? Oh, goodness, these are cold. My closet here is very cold because it's up against, it goes to the outside wall, and for whatever reason, that wall is so cold. So they feel very cold. Let's wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Okay, how are you guys doing? Indigenous Americas are rising, and we have prayers that are stronger than your greed. I hear ya. I hear ya. Oh, thank you. It's cool that the title used for this video, you used New York, New Year. Thank you. I didn't even see that, but that's just how it came together. Okay, so going ahead, we have this full moon. I'm actually glad it's not an eclipse because I don't think we could handle all of that. We have the people. We have the people. Look at this. We are whole. We have the world. We are connected. Look at, this could be looking at resources abroad, but it is not. It is, well, yes, it is also the people looking at like, what the hell did you do? But this is where the people are, where hopes and wishes and dreams are. We want to be done with you mofo, the world. We've seen enough. Everything's so harmonious. We have our elders. We have the feminine. Weaving all of this together. Things are thriving. So this is the people and where we're headed. You're headed. Oh my gosh. I was like, please no catastrophe, but get this. The Hanged Man reverse. This is where we have been. We've been stuck in the slow motion goo. We haven't been able to do a whole lot. Don Julio got his mojo back with all these transits retrograding back into these water signs where he does better. This is reverse. This is probably one of the, it is reversed. Like, this is where we're headed. We're done with that. We are so done with that. We are together and we are going forth. And there's also the spirituality piece of this. It's like we've all seen each other. We've all seen the best and the worst of us, and we've all been caught up in this crap together. Look at that dove with peace. And it's like, that's done. That is done. Okay. I don't want him to contaminate my cards. I need another card for this mofo. Where we're headed. I am going to use the Crow Tarot. So if this, the Three of Cups. So if this represents the people, the Sun represents, I have to do forefathers, past POTUSes, POTI. This is DT. Okay, so we have this full moon, Sun representing the leaders, going forth into this 2026 where we stand right now. You guys, I'm telling you, reading on this, what happened in the Southern Hemisphere already feels like it is shrinking and getting smaller and smaller. It was a lot of shock and awe. Wow. I can't wait to get this other part with you. Okay, so our forefathers, they, the Ace of Swords, it starts with a vision. It starts with a thought. It starts with an idea. It is the sword of victory. And this has been a vision that we have had, you know what, crossing the mountains when things get difficult. We have the support, love, there's a rose on what to do and how to get there. The sky's the limit. So this is our forefathers. Now, this full moon Capricorn, Don Julio, things are going what? So this is the three, is this the wands? Yes, the Three of Wands. He's been putting something out there for a while, been working on it, it's not going to go the way it's planned. Wow. What is his challenge? There goes my throat. The Three of Swords, his betrayal and his treason. It is everywhere. Now, you guys, this whole thing that happened down south in Venezuela, a lot of information coming out. The little bit that I started looking at, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right. There are direct connections from 2016 and 2019. This is like coming full circle. Now, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you a little story. The best that I can tell you. Okay, you got it so far? Love harnesses inside. Say Maduro is protected by Russia, Cuba, China sources, and his removal was an inside job as they all want a cut of the oil. Maduro, yes, they're all getting a cut. You know, there's Poly Market. There have been accounts that have been created in the past week. Oh, do you think he's going to get removed? They made a ton of money. And just think, and this is why there's going to be a select group of Republicans that aren't going to say a darn thing, because that's where their money is coming from. And that is where they're also getting their cut from. So, and leading up to this, I mean, China said they were going to be part of peace talks, last week? Like when Don Julio had everyone coming in, I'm like, come on. Red flag country doesn't take action unless it's a sure thing or they are being public with a role that they're playing. This whole time I couldn't figure out when this whole discussion was going on. I'm like, Maduro is giggling and chuckling. And I keep seeing him and Ivanka and all them and Jared. They are beaming, chuckling like they pulled it off. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But the thing that is going to cause Donald a lot of problems, and I'm going to keep my cards out here. So if you recall, I don't know if you guys remember this. It was something that I just hung on to and I just could not let go. It's just one of those things where you just know something is there. So back in 2016, before he was inaugurated, but I think he was elected, I was really worried because Rosneft, Russia Oil, wanted to purchase Citgo, our oil. And so I might be saying some of these details wrong, but this is like the gist of it. We're looking at like 2016, 17. So wanted to buy Citgo. And the thing is when you have a pipeline in the United States, no matter what the company is, they own the rights to the easements along those pipelines. And the pipelines cut straight through the United States, through all these red states. Hello. This is why Illinois is such a problem, because we kind of are going through southern Illinois, that pipeline. They've managed to secure all the red states and senators that go along this pipeline. So you own the rights to the easement under a pipeline. Same with the fuel cell towers and refineries. It's like you own that land, which is really horrific. So they wanted to buy that. It's like, no. They did secure something where they couldn't buy it. But Citgo's their subsidiary in Venezuela is PDVSA. Okay? And so they wanted to buy this to buy this. Okay? Now, when you go to PDVSA, that also pulls in, I swear this is it. I am going to have to double check this, but I keep seeing this play over and over in my brain. This pulls in Bill Browder. Bill Browder, the equity guy. He worked with Magnitsky. And we all know what happened to Magnitsky. Well, Sergey, am I glitching it? Sergey M., he worked with Bill Browder, and he was an accountant. And he found all this fraud that the military was using that came out of the pensions of the military. It was $220 million. And when Magnitsky went to show and report this to Russia, they put him in jail. They jailed him, and that's where he passed away. And so this is related to those monies somehow. Now, when Don Julio was inaugurated, remember was it November 20? No, it had to have been like January 2017. One of the first things, there was a case going on in New York related to this. And I swear this is the one that Preet Bharara was working on when he was axed and pulled from the case the day before it went to trial. It had to do with money related to this, and Don Julio pulled him at the last minute. And I'm sure someone got tossed out of a window, because that's just how it is with these guys. But this was going on then. Russia wanted this badly. So time passes, we say, no, you can't buy Citgo. But I'm like, what's going on PDVSA? Somehow this, maybe it was purchased. Here you go. Maduro, this has something to do with Maduro. Maduro okayed like a purchase of this, and he announced it while he was in Cuba. He went to Cuba to finalize this. I swear that this is what this is. I think finally they did that around 2019. And around this time, this is when suddenly we're seeing in the trends, and Maduro's saying, the United States wants to have a coup on me, and Mike Pence is coming here. And it's like, what the heck are you talking about? We don't want your country. This has teeth since then, okay? And so I don't know if they, oh yeah, that was a balloon trial to see what would happen, what would be said. Oh, that's the balloon trial for what's going on with all the boats in the Caribbean, to see who reacts and what the playbook is so that they can get around the bigger things that are going on. Are you guys still with me? I know I'm just talking a lot. Caroline, we must manifest protection for Zelensky from all of Putin's harm. Yeah, you know what? There was a thing in 2019. There was like this weird swap that Russia proposed, something Venezuela and Ukraine. There was a swap there that they were proposing. So this is coming from the Russia. This whole thing. That's where it get. I mean, if you want a signal of treason as bad as treason can be, it's this case itself, okay? Rubio said Cuba should be concerned today. I know, he plays both sides of the coin with that, because they always have to make it look like, Cuba this, Cuba that. But when President Obama wanted to normalize relations, remember how freaked out, over the top, crazy, screeching, triggered they were that he would ever suggest something like that. And I swear to God, that is why Obama wanted to just have open discussion with them, because China and the Russia were doing a lot of stuff there as well. But, and the Republican, okay. I don't even know what I'm doing. I just want to know how all these things relate to one another. I need my other cards for. Okay. This whole big thing. Because obviously this is something I haven't really been able to look at. I'm just recalling this. Okay. So Rosenoff purchasing Citgo. Oh boy. Ninth house faith. You got there, my throat. That's it. Like I said, this comes full circle. I've always been saying this ninth house faith card with Sagittarius has always shown up since his inauguration on what takes him out. And there is the transaction that they want. We asked that. So now it goes down to PDVSA. In Venezuela. Yod. So that's like a finger, the fate of God, pointing at something very specifically. We're using this pointing to something very, very specific we want. And we're going to use Venezuela as a prop to make this happen for whatever Rosneft Russia wants it. And what ended up happening, they acquired this and then they used that for S-Air oil, ESSAIR oil as collateral so they could maybe do purchases with that with India. So there's now an India connection there. Oh yeah. And is it Sinopec? Chinese oil, gas. Anyway, we're just sticking with these guys. So using Venezuela as a very specific point to say this about the purchase happening in Cuba, because I think I have to do both of these. The third house messages. That's the plan. That's the masses. This is the action that's being, it's a contract, it's an agreement with a seventh house partnership. Oh my gosh, you guys. Yes. The heart of this is Donald. The heart of this is, okay. May I please see? The heart of this is Donald. Mercury retrograde reinvention. This to me tells, okay, you guys weren't able to do that. Let's come up with a different plan. And who came up with this Mercury retrograde reinvention card. There you go. This quarter moon, Mercury retrograde reinvention was over here in the 12th house of the hidden thing that is rising up to basically attack that will come out of nowhere. Huh. So there you go. I swear to God, this is for, okay, where's this Mercury retrograde? I had so much good stuff, you guys. I just want to quickly check to see who's got that as their signifier. 'Cause somebody has it. I swear somebody has it. Nope, I don't see it. But I will tell you, this past year, I would always see Mercury retrograde in tandem with Mercury, the Mercury card, when it came to transnational stuff and plans. So that is what's going on here. So, and I'm good. Yes, this is his he's a treason weasel. His biggest treason. And yeah, and everyone's getting the payout. Wall Street is headed there this week. Finance and energy people to go make a deal. Donald's treason. Uranus genius. His partnerships. Yeah, this came out of the blue. Sudden. In Aquarius. Uranus is the modern ruler for Aquarius. And Aquarius card has been showing as his secret coup. So this does not surprise me at all. We have to go talk about a timeline, you guys. Actually, we're going to talk about Uranus because this is quick. Because what's coming up here in 2026, I talked at length, I think 2 lives ago, about this 2026 Mars-Uranus conjunction. Holy shit, you guys. On July 4th. And this is at 3 degrees Gemini. And we were freaking out about all the things that were happening at 3 degrees Gemini. And that this is explosive. Something's going to give. Something big. Okay, I don't know what it is. But I will tell you in the GOP their chart, 3 Gemini, they had McConnell. Which I just thought was so crazy. How are you guys doing? Caroline, Devin Nunes, who Truth Social has also put out a bid for the oil in Venezuela, and billions will go straight into Trump's pockets. Yep. Nothing for the USA as a country. Nope. And we still don't get to have health insurance, you guys. They're just using and abusing us. Pluto, they were working up to this show for some time. Absolutely. Mexico declared this stunt is contrary to the UN Charter. Rex Tillerson said he was an ass doing anything for that gas. Yep. Okay. So this is going to happen at 3 degrees Gemini. In the U.S. chart, I do recall... Wait, this is the GOP chart. In the U.S. chart, this is why Deception Island, Asteroid Deception Island is here. Okay. Now, I was thinking... And so since I've gone through all the horoscopes, and this is what the impression is to me, is that, yes, Massie and MassieKhana and Jack Smith, I don't know if they were working together, but every step that has been taken forward, and even with Millie, what happened now is the thing that they were all expecting. In fact, when Jack Smith was testifying to Congress privately, that was on December 17th. On December 17th, Massie gave a big speech to Congress about not having a coup in Venezuela. Kind of crazy. And 2 months ago, the Democrats really cleaned up the elections. And New York City, the world's financial district, is no longer in the hands of the Republican Party or a Trump-friendly mayor like Adams. It is now Mamdani. Okay. Three Gemini came up. Okay. Oh. Okay, so when again, going back to talking about our first capital after the U.S. Constitution was ratified in 1789, at 3 degrees Gemini was asteroid America. Isn't that something? And Washington was inaugurated here. And on that day, Washington asteroid was 2 Cancer, and USA Venus, our fondness and affinity, was 3 degrees Cancer. It's like he took the vision and the beauty and the value of America and pushed forth as our first president. Now, there was another thing at 3 Gemini. 3 Gemini. Well, I don't know where that is. Oh. It was when Jack Smith was testifying on December 17th. You're not going to believe this. 3 Gemini. When he was testifying on December 17th, again, these guys all knew what is coming down the pike. And it happened overnight. When he was testifying and when Massie was speaking, at 3 Gemini was the asteroid Venezuela. You cannot make this stuff up. Oh my gosh. And, oh gosh, it is... And the other part I haven't talked about yet that is totally intertwined with this, obviously has to do with the EPSI files, okay? The other thing that's intertwined with this, with the motivations with Jack Smith, have to do with the documents case and the 2020 election, okay? All of these things are combined together. But wait, there's more. There's another Easter egg from when Jack Smith testified. It's insane. Yeah, God, it's sickening what Rubio's done. But I guess, if you're promised billions and you're going to get a kickback like that in your back channel, they don't care. They don't care. Okay, so when he testified, I have just something else to share with you. What was anchoring that chart, because it was recorded in the report from that oversight meeting that they started at 10:03 a.m. Well, the bottom of the chart, oh my gosh, my throat is just really going crazy, is 27 degrees Taurus. This is what this whole thing is grounded in, 27 degrees Taurus. Uranus is at 28 degrees Taurus. So that is like a firecracker. This is the ignition. This is the thing that causes things to explode. This is what his whole testimony is sitting upon. It's the motivation behind the docs and the 2020 election. But I think he only testified about the documents case, correct? So this meeting itself, just by virtue of sitting on this hotspot, it's going to explode. It's going to be explosive. This is like temporary. This is not going to just sit here for a long time. There's going to be action quickly. So we have this at 28 degrees. And then that's the IC. Remember I said 3 Gemini was the asteroid Venezuela. Jeez Louise. And this is how EPSI gets. My throat keeps closing, you guys. I am hovering right over all this stuff. We're going to wrap the EPSI stuff in here because I've been talking about this, I think, on Blue Sky. So on the day that Epps was suicided, at 28 degrees Taurus, is asteroid Ghislaine. So this is all connected. That is how it keeps playing out for me. And all the fear, I did Horoscopes for Donald's fear and motivation, and it is absolutely the Epsi stuff. It is what's coming from Jack Smith. All these different directions, this is it. And for all of this information coming out from his testimony, and now he has his back up against a wall, because when is that report supposed to be due? Volume 2, Jack Smith, his second report that Eileen Cannon's been hanging on to forever and ever. That's like sometime in the first week. So Donald's back is up against the wall. The report is coming out. And he's screwed. And just like every other person that I've been saying forever, that Donald and Bibi need a war to stay in office. Now he is the apple of the oligarchy's eyes with what's happened in Venezuela, because everyone is going to get paid. And it's just so sickening. And we know it's sickening. But this is basically what happened, and what Rachel Maddow describes in her book Blowout, about how leaders of nations go rogue with big oil, and they sell out their resources and they leave everybody poor. Nobody gets that money. So again, it's happening again, but it happened in one fell swoop. Donald was very efficient about this, because usually it takes months and months and months to go through this. This is why the oil companies are just, so what did they say? They'll give him $1 billion, but for his campaign. I can't even imagine the massive payback Don Julio is getting on this. The funds are just massive. But is it enough? It's never enough with him. What was his niece's book, Mary Trump, called something about like over the top and never enough. It's that same thing. He will never be able to quench this desire he has. Volume 2, JOG, must have proof he sold docs to... He did. And the Horoscopes I was tying it... Why did China decide to go do their war exercise practices around the island of Taiwan? I had Horoscopes on that. Yes. They were showing up as the recipients of the documents, and Jack Smith has documentation of this. It is just mind-blowing. I know you guys, there are those of you who say, what a red flag country has nothing to do with it. They always benefit. They always pay people off. It always goes back to China now, and his front is Russia. So Putin's the guy that's doing their bidding, but is willing to take on all the blame for everything that's going on, just like that was outlined in the Steele dossier. It's like all of this is happening that was outlined so long ago. So it comes full circle. It shows his treason, and so going forward, it's like, what hill are you guys going to die on? Which side are you going to choose? Where are we going? But we know that something is going to give. It will absolutely happen. The conjunction happened several times this year. Holy crap. And then, okay, I can't go in that direction. It's like every single month, January, is it Neptune? Does Neptune go into Aries? February, Saturn into Aries. I know Jupiter is in the summer, but there's two other things that are happening. Uranus goes into Gemini, I think, is it April? March or so these things are going to be changing month by month by month. And the thing is, Don Julio is at peak supportive cosmic energies, because Saturn Neptune is really supporting his personal Saturn Venus, a really strong beam that lets him go with the flow and get what he wants. Well, this is the last hurrah, because last year when we had that preview of what's going to happen with those things going into Gemini, he floundered. He did very poorly. that's when we know he's had several health events, but that is when, like, the big one where he disappeared for a week over the summer was under those conditions. Electra, I'm beginning to hate January now thanks to Trump. Well, it is kind of a long month, but we are going to get through this. Caroline, who's going to bring all this out and take them all into custody? What's the holdup? I don't know. I do know that Jack Smith is taking charge. And whatever plan they have had, they have put everything into place so that this timing he could come out and take charge and be safe. And same with Massie. There is something that is guiding them that protects them, and Jack came from the ICC. I don't know. I can't even imagine what is going to happen. I know Donald will not fare well, though. The timeline. So this timeline. Where's my timeline? I put a Post-it on it so I'd get it really quickly. Did I lose it? Okay, where's my timeline? So this was a timeline leading up to now. Please show me the timeline. Where did I write that? Oh my gosh. No, you can't. Oh, here. Is it? Oh, here it is. This is the timeline. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yep, those are the documents. His Venezuelan coup documents, payments. Okay, so let's just keep this in mind. Back in June 18th, Massie and MassieKhana introduced a bill for bipartisan war powers for Donald because of all this stuff going on in Venezuela. July 15th, MassieKhana, they filed for the Epstein Files Transparency Act. Then October 7th, I know there's a gap there, but Sekulow, remember his attorney, said there's an FBI bombshell that Jack Smith spied on the Senate. That gets things rolling. October 14th, Jordan demands testimony from Jack Smith. November 4th is election. November 12th, Adelita is sworn in. And at the time, I was like, what in the world do they have in place where it's safe to now finally swear her in? Because they had to get a lot of stuff in place in between them because this is it. November 19th, Jordan refers Jack Smith's attorney to DOJ for obstruction, and Trump signs the Epps Files Act, and you know he is furious. On November 20th, Biden-Harris collected phone records for 2+ years. This is from Jordan. On November 22nd, Bolsonaro was detained. Remember how shocked Don Julio was? And on December 17th, we have the testimony by Jack Smith and Massie in front of the Congress talking about Venezuela. And they said when this happened on January 3rd, it was in the works for 2 months. And this is what we have. That takes us back to the election. And why they were all going jihad on Mamdani being the mayor of New York. They needed that piece for all the world financial stuff. Whew. That was a lot of information. Did I give you guys enough information? What time is it? What time? Yeah, we've been going for an hour. Let me just see what else you guys have here. Yes, Barbara, I hope they remove the comment regime soon. They're all illegitimate because he cheated. He absolutely did. And Elon knows that. Their backs were up against a wall. And it came full circle. Because the other thing I've been anticipating is because of Donald's health, whatever Russia needs, they need to get that done because what if he croaks? It's just kind of like everything all of a sudden was churning very quickly after those health emergencies. Is Canada safe? Yes, I think Canada is safe. I'm just so sorry we look like such a-holes to you and everybody else. Yes, China's maneuvers and oh gosh, that's going on too. Does the red flag country know they're on a house of cards? They can't keep going the way they have been. I think they're hoping that this helps them avoid that, but they have Pluto, that the warring planet, the destructive planet, just plopped down in their first house of identity with their chart, and it is extremely destructive. They are getting a lot of gain and effort with Don Julio and all the favors he's done for them since being in office, but again, everything Trump touches dies, and none of those people are immune from that. Jog, several Rump voters have told me they're sorry they voted him and they're not voting anymore. Yes, and even with them, we have to be open with them. We cannot be divided anymore, because this is what killed us. This is what allowed him to steal our nation from us, is the oldest time divide and conquer. We have to be finding ways. You don't have to come together verbally or anything like that. You don't have to have any, I'm going to do this for you. It is just giving them the benefit of the doubt. Okay. And that is it. It is just letting that open up, because so maybe someone else will take action with that, your focus and that vortex. Someone else can take action and mend these ways. We're holding the note. We are holding our own bright light to shine the way to get us out of the dark. And that's all we need to do, okay? Everybody has their role. Everyone will be able to fulfill it. What countries are going to invade next? Mexico, Canada, Greenland? I highly doubt it. They were talking about Venezuela for a long time. Now, I know they've been making peeps here and there about Mexico, Canada, Greenland, but this is the first year we've heard about that. We've heard about Venezuela stuff since 2016, 2017. And again, all of those threats on taking over those, what was I just going to say about that? It's more like to test the waters and see what they can get away with. Should I ask the ring? It's been a while since I asked the ring. I'm just a little jittery to ask the ring because, oh man. Because there are so many things going on, and I just want to make sure. Look how dirty my hands are. How are you, ring? Jeffrey? Hello. It is the year 2025. Yes or no? It is the year 2025. It is the year 2025. Left to right is no, up and down is a yes. When I have them kind of going both ways and alternating, that's like a maybe. Okay. We've had some awful things happen overnight. Is Don Julio planning to invade Mexico? Is he planning to invade Mexico? Yeah, I don't think so. That's a no. He is very much protecting the cartels down there. You know, it's like the people that they need to go after because of a so-called drug coming into the U.S., they never go after them. It's the cartels. It's SINO, Sinaloa, and the red flag country. He'll never touch them. And whenever the Republican Party has an opportunity to call that stuff out, they never do. I don't think they're going to do that. Mexico is too valuable, especially with their relationship with however the red flag country is getting drugs into the U.S. And whatever's going on at the border, that the Republicans have an agreement with the other side of the border. There is a lot of corruption going on. Is Donald planning to invade Canada? Is Donald planning to invade Canada? That is a no. What I was getting was he has enough inroads there. I'm sorry to say, like with the likes of that guy Pierre. I don't know what's going on in Alberta. And I think in Quebec, maybe there are some far-right people that they're like doing the whole anti-worker, anti-healthcare insurance gig. I think that's what they're doing. But there's enough there to align with whatever his vision is. Is Trump going to invade Greenland? Is Trump going to invade Greenland? Is Trump going to invade Greenland? Oh, geez, that was making me nervous. What I was getting while I was doing that was he is like cracking up, slapping his thigh, how he gets really entertained by everyone's reactions by it, that he could if he wanted to, but I don't think he wants to be bothered with that and just leave it alone. It was more for entertainment purposes only, which, by the way, this channel's for entertainment purposes only. I could be right, I could be wrong. Okay, so that's what I got going here, okay? So I am going to end it here, you guys. I think I've given you enough information to kind of decode what's going on, how long this has been in the works, and how kind of where we are with 2026 and how kind of the trajectory going forward is not good for Donald. I didn't get to talk as much about that, but there are plenty of markers along the way that are ready to set off, go off. And I would say last time I met with you guys, I was suddenly I was seeing Millie under a lot of duress, like under a lot of stress. He had to exert a lot of strength. He wasn't in pain, but the amount of what he was trying to hold together was excruciating. And then this happened. Then I just see him. He's just like, yep, well, I don't even want to go there with what's next. But he was trying to, I think, hold something together. And I think it's the evidence that they have. There's so many things that it's keeping this kind of in check. And on my Horoscopes I was doing on the military, I was specifically saying military removal of him. And military was coming up in all the places you would hope that it would come up. It came up really, really strong with what's happened in Venezuela. So that is it. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you, Rob D. Thank you, Shelby. Free Spirit, loving the positive messages. Thanks for the reminder to protect your energies. Protect your energies. Just push out your energies in your aura and just make it impervious to crap, because you don't want to get caught up in psyops and low vibrating energies that can divide and conquer. Okay. Fabulous, Caroline. Thank you. Happy New Year, Blue Moon. Best wishes, everybody. Cartels are going down. They are not all Mexico, but here in the U.S. He will be taking all corrupt government everywhere. No, I don't think so. U-turn. The cartels are protected by Trump. They're protected by the Republican Party, especially like in Idaho. They're not going down. Those are his partners in crime. He is pardoning the worst of the worst cartel and drug lords. So that is not true. He is not taking down the cartels around the world, ever. That's his bread and butter. Okay, thank you, Asia. No fear, exactly. Okay, we'll see you later. Bye.